मिलितं येनं तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर स्वामी निति नामिने। नमः सद्भक्तमनये मणिपुर उद्भवाय च प्रभुपादल सद्वाणी प्रचार निरतात। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे सत्यदेशतारिणे। गुरवे गौरचन्द्रा राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रील भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर गोस्वामी श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। पतित पावन श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। संवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरे बोल। गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करहि दासे तृणापेक्षा अतिहीना। गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करहि दासे ऋणापेक्षा अतिहीना। गुरुदेव सकल सहने बल दिया कर सकल सहने ओहे वैष्णव ठाकुर ओहे वैष्णव ठाकुर सकल सहने बल दिया कर सकल निज मने स्पृहाई ना। गुरुदेव निज निज माने स्पृहाईना गुरुदेव निज मान गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ही दासे ऋणापेक्षा अतिहीना गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ही दासे ऋणापेक्षा सकले सम्मान करीते सकते देहनाथ जथा जथा सकल सम्मान करीते सकते देहनाथ जथा जथा सकल सम्मान करीते सकते देहनाथ जथा जथा सकल सम्मान करते सकते देहनाथ जथा जथा तबे तो गाइबा हरि नाम सुखे तबे तो गाइब हरि नाम सुखे तबे तो गाइबा हरि नाम सुखे तबे तो गाइब हरि नाम सुखे तबे तो गाइबा हरि नाम सुखे तबे तो गाइब हरि नाम सुखे अपराध हबे हत गुरुदेव अपराध हबे अपराध हबे हत अपराध हबे हत अपराध हबे हत गुरुदेव अपराध हबे हत गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ही दासे ऋणापेक्षा अतिहीना गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो दास ऋणापेक्षा अतिहीना कभी है न कृपा लभियाए ज कृतार्थ होइबे नाथ कबे है न कृपा लभियाए जन कृतार्थ होइबे नाथ कबे है न कृपा लभियाए ज कृतार्थ होइबे नाथ कबे है न कृपा लभियाए जन कृतार्थ होइबे नाथ शक्ति बुद्धिहीन आमी अति दीन शक्ति बुद्धिहीन आमी अति दीन हे वैष्णव ठाकुर हे वैष्णव ठाकुर शक्ति बुद्धिहीन आमी अति दीन 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 कर मोरे आत्मसाथ गुरुदेव कर मोरे आत्मसाथ कर मोरे आत्मसाथ गुरुदेव कर मोरे आत्मसाथ कर मोरे आत्मसाथ गुरुदेव कर मोरे आत्मसाथ गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया कर ही दासे तृणापेक्षातिहीना।
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो हे दास तृणापेक्षा अतिहीन।
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो हे दास तृणापेक्षातिहीना।
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो हे दास तृणापेक्षा अतिहीन।
योग्यता विचारे किछु नहीं पाय तुम्हार करुणा सार। गुरुदेव
योग्यता विचारे किछु नहीं पाय तुम्हार करुणा सार।
गुरुदेव योग्यता विचारे किछु नहीं पाय तुम्हार करुणा सार।
गुरुदेव योग्यता विचारे किछु नहीं पाय तुम्हार करुणा सार।
करुणा ना हईले कांदिया कांदिया
करुणा ना होइले कांदिया कांदिया।
गुरुदेव गुरुदेव करुणा ना हईले कांदिया कांदिया
करुणा ना होइले कांदिया कांदिया।
करुणा ना हईले कांदिया कांदिया।
करुणा ना होइले कांदिया कांदिया।
प्राण न राखिब आर। गुरुदेव
प्राण न राखिब आर।
प्राण न राखिब आर। गुरुदेव
प्राण न राखिब आर।
प्राण न राखिब आर। गुरुदेव
प्राण न राखिब आर।
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो एहि दासे तृणापेक्षातिहीना।
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो हे दास तृणापेक्षा अतिहीन।
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो एहि दासे तृणापेक्षातिहीना।
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो हे दास तृणापेक्षा अतिहीन।
सकल सहने बल दिया कर।
सकल सहने बल दिया कर।
हे वैष्णव ठाकुर। हे वैष्णव ठाकुर सकल सहने बल दिया कर। सकल सहने
बल दिया कर।
निज माने स्पृहाईना। गुरुदेव
निज माने स्पृहाईना।
निज माने स्पृहाईना। गुरुदेव
निज माने स्पृहाईना।
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो एहि दासे तृणापेक्षातिहीना।
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो हे दास तृणापेक्षा।
ओहे वैष्णव ठाकुर वैष्णव ठाकुर वैष्णव ठाकुर ओहे वैष्णव ठाकुर।
वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर। वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर।
ओहे आचार्य ठाकुर आचार्य ठाकुर आचार्य ठाकुर ओहे आचार्य ठाकुर।
आचार्य ठाकुर आचार्य ठाकुर आचार्य ठाकुर जय आचार्य ठाकुर।
गुरुदेव 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 गुरुदेव
गुरुदेव गुरुदेव
प्रभुपाद 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम राम
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम राम
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम राम
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Sripad Maharaj, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Sripad Maharaj, Jaya Guru Deva.
Jai Sripad Maharaj, Jai Guru Deva, Jai Sripad Maharaj, Jai Guru.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev.
Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Jai Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada,
Prabhupada.
Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. So today is Navami and tomorrow is Vijay Dashmi. And Vijay Dashmi is the day when our beloved Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, he entered the Nitya Leela. So in commemoration to that Disappearance Day, we are having a 3 days festival starting today. So today, here it will be day 1, and tomorrow at the Samadhi Mandir in Radhakund, day 2, and day 3 will be Parikrama with Guru Maharaj in Govardhan. So that's how we planned the 3 days celebration. So with the blessings of Srila Sripad and Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled senior Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, we begin today's proceedings by first welcoming each and every one of you. A big Haribol to everyone. In particular, we would like to welcome His Holiness Chandramali Maharaj. Welcome, Maharaj. It's really nice once again to have your association. We had a wonderful association in Radha Gopinath, Mumbai, just about a week back. And we would like to welcome our devotees from Singapore, New Zealand, Pranath Prabhu, and all over India. Mukund Madhav Prabhu is here, our Raghu Chandra Prabhu, and our own His Holiness Bhakti Jivan Prajananda Maharaj. So big Haribol to everyone. And so we'll start this program with a small dance. So this will be a 20 minutes dance by two lovely devotees, daughters of our God sisters. So one is Krishna Priya, another one is Mahita Meera. So Krishna Priya will present the Odissi dance and Mahita Meera will present Bharatnatyam. So we welcome Krishna Priya first. Krishna Priya, can you please come on the here and perform your Odissi dance first. A big round of applause to welcome Krishna Priya.
Should I try?
Yeah.
उतना अच्छा वॉइस नहीं आ रहा तो पिन है तो beautiful piece of dance. Showcases one gesture in the form of pure dance and implies a lot of collaboration and exposition, not only of the dance but also of the music that accompanies it. And Sakji, student of Vrindavan Kalakend Vrindavan.
Hare Krishna. So our Krishna Priya is going to perform what is called as Mohana Pallavi. So this is an Odissi dance, and this piece of dance comes under the Pallavi in Odissi Parampara. It showcases the body gestures in the form of pure dance and implies elaboration and exposition not only for the dance but also for the music that accompanies it. So therefore it is imperative for her to connect the music, and she is getting it organized. Her guru is Guru Pratap Narayan and Srimati Kunjalata Mishra, and she is a student of Venunath Kala Kendra Vrindavan. So the performer is Krishna Priya. वो लाइट चालू करेगा ना.
We'd also like to welcome His Grace Dadibaksha Prabhu for this Disappearance Day festival. He's a disciple of Srila Prabhupada and
I think that applause was not suitable. Please give her a big. Wonderfully performed, Krishna Priya. Your expressions were extremely good, and we were able to connect through your expressions and your movements very well. Wish we could continue for some more time, but then we have got limited time on our hands. Wonderful. Now next, we would like to invite Mahita Meera. You have it. What you want to? So Mahita Meera is going to perform Bharatnatyam, and here she is going to depict Garuda Gamana. So it's written by, what's his name? Bhakti Tirtha Swami, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami of Sri Sampradaya. It is a tribute to the greatness of Lord Sri Mahavishnu. It implies the god. It implies the Lord who rides the Garuda, on the Garuda. Mahita, please.
Garuda Gamana Garuda Gamana Tava Charana Kamala Miha Manasila Katu Mama Nityam Manasila Katu Mama Nityam Mamata Pamapa Gurude Dinamuti Harana Mukha Vibudha Vinuta Pada Padma Vibudha Vinuta Pada Padma Mamata Pamapa Gurudeva Mamapa Pamapa Gurudeva Mamata Pamapa Gurudeva Mamapa Pamapa Gurudeva Bhujagasayana Bhava Madana Janaka Mama Janana Marana Bhayahari Bhujagasayana Bhava Madana Janaka Mama Janana Marana Bhayahari Janana Marana Bhayahari Mamata Pamapa Gurudeva Mamapa Pamapa Chakradhara Dushta Daitya Hara Sarvaloka Charana Saruka Chakradhara Dushta Daitya Hara Sarvaloka Charana Sarvaloka Charana Mamata Pamapa Gurudeva Mamapa Pamapa Gurudeva Mamata Pamapa Gurudeva Mamapa Garuda कमल तव चरण कमल निगमन तिलक सुमम नित्यम् गरुड गमन तव चरण कमल निगमन तिलक सुमम नित्यम् मन तिलक सुमम नित्यम् मम तापम पा गुरुदेव मम पापम पा गुरुदेव मम तापम पा गुरुदेव मम पापम पा गुरुदेव मम तापम पा गुरुदेव मम पापम पा गुरुदेव.
Haribol. Thank you very much, Mahita. I think along with the two daughters, we would like to also compliment their respective mothers. They're getting a nice divine exposure from a very young age. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so that was a very nice way to welcome all the devotees from various parts. Now, the next program is we are going to play a recorded class of Guru Maharaj, and that will be for about 35 minutes. And while the class is being heard and we are all going to listen to that, I will go around to check how many of you would be interested to glorify, so that I can start collecting the names. And once the class is over of Maharaj, we'll start the glorification. All right? Thank you. So this class is given by Maharaj in the year 2006 in Trinidad and Tobago, West Indies. So just for information, if somebody wants to know, it's 2006 recorded.
Rama Raghava Rakshamam Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Krishna 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 Rakshamam Krishna 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 Pahi Mam Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rakshamam. Krishna Kesava, Krishna Kesava, Krishna Kesava, Pahi Mam. जय कृष्ण भगवान की जय रामचंद्र भगवान की जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय गुरु महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय त्रिनिदाद भक्त वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्री श्री गौरनिताय मंदिर की जय साउथ त्रिनिदाद श्री श्री गौरनिताय मंदिर की गौर भक्त वृंद की गौर प्रेमानंदे. So in our devotional practice, there is a submission in the form of prayer. Prayer is whatever we are doing, chanting, like chanting the Mahamantra is actually prayer, it's a form of prayer. So prayer, praying for the blessings of the Lord, that, oh my Lord, I am most unqualified, I am most fallen, so please guide me, please give me strength, please give me knowledge, so that I can carry on in my life's journey, devotional journey. So this mood is very, very essential. So therefore, Gauranga Mahaprabhu says in the ISKCON, Trinari Visunisena, Darori Vasestana, Amani Namanadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. So the prime foundation of our devotional journey is to develop this culture that Trinari Visunicena means one must be very humble, and the qualification is the humility. The humility, so more, let's say, humbler, than the grass, straw. Trina is the grass, the straw. So one must be more humbler than the straw in the street. That the grass growing, but we walk over the grass, but the grass never complains. It tolerates. Otherwise, and then plus, Darori Vasahishtana. Darori means the tree. All these trees are beautiful trees. They stay in so many different weathers, especially in very severe weathers. But they always tolerate. Darori Vasahishtana, more tolerant than the tree. So, and the plus, Amanina Manadena, devoid of all sense of false prestige. That one should not be very arrogant, one should rather be very, very, free from ahankar, false ego, because false ego is the root cause of all the troubles in this material world. So all these different, these are cultural items, these are most essential cultural items that one should cultivate to have these principles. So therefore, Gauranga Mahaprabhu summarized this in his ISKCON. So when one develops this culture, then what will be the outcome? The outcome will be Kirtaniya Sadahari. One will be able to chant the glories of Sankirtan, Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But Sadahari, Sada means always, the birth after birth. It's not only
chanting only in one's lifetime, but the lifetime after lifetime. Sadahari. So this will be the perfection of human life. One develops this culture. So therefore, the primary preparation on the part of the bhakta, we are all bhaktas, but we have to make our own preparation. Individually, in other words, individually one must get strength. The strength, you can get inspiration up to get the strength, but the strength you have to build yourself. We have to build ourselves. But the strength by seeing that someone is doing wonderful service, wonderful enthusiasm, someone is having, that by seeing that, also I become inspired. So therefore you also want to become enthusiastic, you want to act like that. It's like gopis, they said in Vrindavan, so gopi, they compete in the sense that, oh, such and such gopi is doing wonderful seva, so let me also be like that. So, but never envious, but at least, yes, let me also do render seva for Lord Krishna in this way. So therefore, I get inspiration suddenly. And so similarly, in the devotional life, so it is ultimately the Krishna consciousness would be independently thoughtful. The definition of Krishna consciousness that Prabhupada gave to us is that the Krishna consciousness, everyone should be independently thoughtful. And also very as understanding how to render this devotional practice. So we get the instructions from the spiritual master, we get instructions from the sages and saintly people, we have instructions from the scriptures. But plus, we have to be also, we have to develop certain basic qualification to render devotional service. So therefore Prabhupada encouraged that we should be independently thoughtful. So this Krishna consciousness. And this becomes, of course, since we live in an institution, there are certain things that the institution might like to see, but at the same time, our independent thinking should never be sacrificed. Consult, yes, this inspiration came from scriptures, from the instructions of the spiritual master. We consult, but ultimately to render, to make that happen, to actually conduct that type of, let's say, preaching program is up to the individual. You have to get the strength and the energy and also the stamina or the courage. The courage, one must be very courageous in serving devotional duty. So this is a very essential part of rendering Krishna consciousness. So therefore, but to get this strength, so one must follow the four regulative principles. Shastra said, number one is that to follow the four principles, the regulative principles, that's a requirement. And secondly, that allow me to start with sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means following the rules and the regulations and discharging the duties. And that sadhana bhakti that begins with the Navavidha bhakti, this 9 principles of devotional life. That the sarvanam, kirtanam, smaranam, that the hearing about the wonderful devotional practice, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and also the kirtan, sarvanam, hearing, and the kirtanam means chanting the Lord's names, the glories, and the sarvanam, kirtanam, Vishnu smaranam. Smaranam means it's a remembering. So these three are primary, most important among the 9 processes of devotion. So by this devotional practicing 9 processes of devotion, that the result is that all the ahankar, all the false ego, all the negative thoughts of mind will be completely cleansed, slowly, step by step. It's like when your mirror is dirty, then you clean it with a cloth. with a cotton. Say we wipe out slowly, and so finally it will be also completely cleansed. So similarly, by this chanting process, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By this process, all the impurities from the heart and from the mind will also be completely removed. In other words, at that time, the senses become purified. Our senses, 5 gross senses. And the mind is regarded as the king of all the senses. Everything comes first in the mind. Therefore, the mind has to be clean. The mind has to be very purified. But if the mind is not purified, if the mind is not cleansed, then there's always some kind of a problem coming. And the senses will not be able to be controlled if the mind is not trained properly. So it is training of the mind. Cleaning of the mind becomes a very important factor in this Krishna consciousness journey. So by chanting this Mahamantra for regularly, so then all these impurities will be cleansed. And so at that time, the result will be that we begin to realize that the importance of serious connection with the Supreme Lord and of course His servants like the spiritual master. So this realization will come to the individual and then one assimilates. This Prabhupada says assimilation. Assimilation means once you realize that it is become assimilated in your mind and so everything is assimilated, the spiritual knowledge. So when then it becomes on the part of purity, that the senses becoming the spiritualized, and so therefore all the negative thoughts should not be there, and then there will be one will not be bothered. Sukha dukkha. Sukha means happiness, dukkha means unhappiness or sadness or sorrow. One will be able to transcend that either happiness or this sadness. It will not be able to affect the individual. Sukha dukkha. So at that point, that one actually, even like when one becomes very bad, they will show symptoms of ecstasy. Means they are not affected by the material influences, and so ultimately, this is called Mahabhava. Mahabhava means highly spiritually developed individual. Mahabhava, pure devotional service will begin to manifest in the life of a person. So this is actually the ultimate perfection of human life. So therefore this Krishna consciousness has this capacity. This is briefly about why we want to become a devotee of Krishna, why we like to observe this tapasya. Tapasya means for principle actually it is not tapasya. Tapasya means very severe, some kind of commitment. But our tapasya is very little. One should be free from any intoxicants. This is not actually tapasya. It is actually just for my own well-being, for my own well-being, for the health, my physical health, as well as spiritual health. So this is actually, it will be only necessary if someone is a little more serious about life. Don't want to get into trouble, into getting into disease and all these things, because this is it's not very useful. Rather wants to be free from these things. So therefore, it's only for the well-being of the individual. But it's not actually it's a tapasya. Tapasya means much more severe than that. So, in this way, that in this very lifetime, this human form of life, it is possible that one develop this highest perfection of human form of life. So this is actually the result of Krishna consciousness. So among all forms of life, Shastra says that this human form of life is the most important birth, even more important than the demigods, like Lord Brahma, say Indra. Always demigods, powerful and very highly elevated. These demigods, even from compared to demigods, the human form of life is more important. The reason being, although the demigods are much more advanced than the human form of life, but the trouble with that situation is that, see, the demigods are very opulent. Opulent means they are given special responsibility like Lord Brahma. Brahma is given by Krishna, to create this entire universe. Not only this universe, but many, many universes. But the Brahma has great responsibility. That's very opulent. The situation is very, very opulent. So therefore, when one is put in that situation, that it's not very easy to give up that material opulence. One to enjoy this enjoying tendency is also there. Because the demigods are also individuals. They are not Supreme Lord, but they are servant also is in the material platform, but only in a highly elevated state they are put. So because of that, to give up that highly opulent situation is not very easy. So therefore, to come to the pure devotional service is not so easy for them, for the demigods. But on the other hand, the human beings are not so opulent materially compared to the demigods, but at some time, the human beings are fully developing, it's called the full consciousness and also free will, the freedom to act. How to use my free will so that I can, develop this Krishna consciousness to the highest, to the fullest extent. So that capacity the human beings have. So therefore, when Brahma says that he is envious about the human birth, although he is a demigod, but he said, because of my opulent situation, it's not for me to be so easy to develop pure devotional service, the Lord. But the human beings, they are fortunate because they are not so opulent, but sometimes they have full capacity of consciousness as well as free will. This is what the situation of the human form of life. But therefore, Bhagavad says that dharma sanaskrita pumsam vishakshena katasaya nodapade yadiratim sarma evahi kevalam. Dharma sanaskrita pumsam is whatever the duties and occupational duties the human beings perform, those duties do not lead to the attraction of the Supreme Lord, to Krishna, so those activities will be regarded as simply wastes of time. Sarva eva kevala. Kevala means only. Sarva eva means simply wastes of time. But this is the particular Bhagavad. Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore it's very clear that this human form of life is the most wonderful gift that from the Supreme Lord that is given by his unlimited mercy that is given to the human birth. So therefore, knowing that the Vedanta, the conclusion of all the Vedic literatures, therefore the first Vedanta Sutra says Brahma Jigyasa, Atata Brahma Jigyasa. Now you have got this human form of life. Therefore, our only duty is to inquire about my duty, ultimate duty, and also to inquire about the science of absolute truth, Krishna, about the science of God, about the ultimate reality, about the science of ultimate reality is God. To inquire. So this is called jigyasa, tattva jigyasa, the truth. So we have to become, interested in when you get this form of life. And therefore, the supreme importance is given in the human form of life. So therefore, and the Krishna consciousness that provides all these things, step by step. But then only thing which is necessary is that we have to be very enthusiastic to do our own duty, our humble duty, by will that the duty. Because without performing that duty, it would not be possible to come to any understanding. In other words, that whatever, because of the guna and karma that the Lord has given to each one of us, guna means quality. Everyone is given by the mercy of the Lord certain qualities. And also karma means ability to do certain actions. So these are given to each individual. We are all individual living beings. Therefore our abilities are also different. But its ability is enough, because this is given by the Lord. By using that talent or ability and the skill that the Lord has given to each one of us, by engaging in the pure devotional service, it is possible to reach the same goal, the highest, the ultimate, let's say, perfection of life. It is possible. It's not that one has to be only oriented in one way, because the Lord has given this skill, and say within that 9 processes of bhakti, everything can be engaged in those processes. Say, for example, like a poet. So a poet is very, let's say, he or she is very enthusiastic about composing beautiful poems, but that ability is used for composing beautiful, let's say, the pastimes, lila of Lord Krishna, Krishna's pastimes, but put it in the form of, let's say, beautiful, say, musical, let's say, poems, that again perfection, ultimate perfection. So that's what Vyasadeva, that's what Vyasadeva. Narada Muni saw that Vyasadeva was not so happy after compiling all the Vedic literatures. So Narada told Vyasadeva, the reason of your unhappiness is that you have not sung the glories of the Lord by your own talent, means by writing, by literatures. But therefore, Vyasadeva, he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam about the glorifying, about the wonderful goodness, qualities and activities of the Supreme Lord by composing 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's a commentary on the Vedanta. So in this way, of course, Vyasadeva is not an ordinary person. He is regarded as the literary incarnation of Lord Krishna. So in this way, everyone can actually attain the perfection in all fields, in all walks of life. So therefore this is very clear. Therefore, Krishna consciousness is when it is practiced very properly and sincerely, that everyone will be endowed with this perfection. And after leaving this body, then Prabhupada he mentioned that back to Godhead, back to Godhead. We can return to our natural home and then never come back again in this material world and experience any this joy, sadness, and things like that. In other words, this will be free from all these dualities. So that potency is there, and so we just have to become very serious about spiritual life. And Krishna says in the literatures, in the Vedic literatures, Yasa Devi Para Bhakti, Tatha Devi, Yatha Devi Tatha Guru, Tasaite Kaddahi Artha Prakasante Mahatmanaha. So, Vedic literature says that by the combined blessings of the spiritual master and Krishna himself, so these two blessings are required, combined blessings, that all the knowledge of the Vedas will be revealed to each one, to each devotee. Yeah, it is called Mahatma. Devotees of Mahatma means great soul, great personality. So, devotee is great personality. So to each devotee, this knowledge will be revealed by these combined lessons of the spiritual master and Lord Krishna. Yasa Devi Para Bhakti, Yatha Devi Tatha Guru, Tasaite Katitahi Artha Prakasante Mahatmana. Prakasante Mahatmana. So the knowledge, that means in order to get this devotional, the open secret knowledge of Krishna, so therefore has to be revealed to each individual. So that way one will be fully convinced, yes, I must do this, and this is my bounden duty, and so one will become very serious. And so that way the courage will come and the enthusiasm of devotional service, because in the normal, let's say when we are beginning in devotional life, sometimes you will get sometimes discouraged in the sense that I am young, but therefore my knowledge is not fully developed, but then sometimes things don't happen the way that I expected, and so I get momentarily discouraged, and I said, well, what I'm doing, and then you think back and decide whether I should go back to my other life, or I should, it's like, in Bombay, every year we have this Rath Yatra. So the next day after the Rath Yatra, about 40-50 young boys come and they say they want to join Hare Krishna movement. So everybody is saved up every day because 50-60 devotees always can join one day after the single Rath Yatra. And what happens is that after about 1 week, so they are they run away, one boy secretly. So sometimes we run to the railway station to catch them again. Because then again, it's just in 1 day, and then after that, by it's getting out in the morning for Mangalarti, some of them didn't want, and then some of them said, well, you can do this, do that. So therefore, they became a little bit, I think, they want to go back to their original life. This happens because it's natural, because it's not so easy. But they have to. But once you come and join, and I think it'll be best that if one sticks to these principles, and then you get. That's like Prabhupada used to say, the Krishna consciousness is like a very bitter at the beginning, but it becomes sweeter and sweeter, it becomes sweetest as the time passes. But this is a test. This is a test for all of us. But it is a fact that by sincere prayer and also by taking the blessings of the spiritual master Krishna, then all the difficulties will be able to overcome. And then one experience is unlimited happiness. So in this way, life is mission. So very happy here to stop by. There's 3 months to plan, so therefore we will have to say prior, planning, and nonetheless, I'm leaving tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to on the way to Parvati stop overnight, and then Los Angeles next day. So hopefully Sunday can visit and spend more time, and very happy that the Krishna Kripa, Guruji, and we have Sitaram, gentle Sitaram, and all the devotees, friends. Very happy to see this short time. So pray to listen to Prabhupada. So please remain healthy and strong and enthusiastic. I understand that the Rath Yatra is coming soon. Next month. So please have a wonderful Jagannath festival. And the other day, fortunately, I didn't have any idea that where I'm going. But then our Radhesham told me that on the way in the car, Maharaj, tonight there is a program, so we would like to go there. And it's going to be like this. I said, well, yes, please take me there, I want to go. So it was nice. It was a good important people, and the program was excellent. And so preaching is like that, preaching of different stages, and so there was a good program of that nature. I also did this cultural program. In fact, my troupe just arrived last night from India, 20 artists in Los Angeles. So I also wanted to call them and find out what the problem, the visa, because Los Angeles is very strict. But we'll be here for about 3 months, performing every day about 3 or 4 programs, every day. In Los Angeles, still in California, up to Vancouver in Canada, and we are only moving up to Arizona. And then after that, they return in 3 months to India. And so I'm supposed to be with them. And we are doing university programs, and even many scientists also participate because we do it at the university students. So our program is very kind of appreciated by them. And so I will join them. Actually, I'm going to join them. Let's see, for at least for a little while. And please stay well, and Prabhupada will be extremely pleased with these programs. And so in this way, there will be so much benefit to so many sincere souls. So that is the process of Krishna consciousness. Vaishnava is always concerned for the well-being of others. So by doing Rath Yatra, that so many sincere souls who come, and also not only the human beings, but also other forms of life. So just by seeing Lord Jagannath, and while the devotees are walking, sometimes they also walk over sometimes we don't see many insects and many microbes. They also all get the blessings of the Vaishnavas, and the birds and the animals, and they will all, whoever see, they will love Jagannath. So the principle is that they will all be born as devotees of Krishna. In the next line, immediately, so they don't have to go through the Darwinian form of evolution. They will come directly as devotees. They will be all born in Trinidad. So therefore it's this is called inconceivable, that they must get the Lord. And this is in our philosophy, Vaishnava philosophy. And therefore the Jagannath, once you see Jagannath, pull the card, that it is guaranteed that it should be, if you do not go to the back to God in this lifetime, but it's guaranteed that you will be born as a devotee of the Lord. And therefore you can start from that point. So in this way, it is a wonderful festival. Regular Jagannath festival is actually on June 26. June 26, and so June 26 this year, actually I have been in Burma for the festival. We generally observe on 26 in parts of India also, like in Bali, they also observe the same days in India as Jagannath Puri. And so this is a wonderful kind of a program. So with that, I think I will end here, and I have a little program. This Rajrishi said I have to go to some radio program. That's a little prasad from Jagannath. So this prasad is a little different than what I gave you yesterday. So before I left, I didn't want to take, so that Jagannath sent me some prasad. Please come and take this prasad. Very well. After this, everybody comes one by one. Two by two.
We are so fortunate in the sense that we didn't even expect. We didn't even.
Hare Krishna. So, apologies that the audio quality was heard on the laptop. It comes very well. So I don't know what went wrong in this system, that is catching some humming sound from somewhere, because of which the sound or the voice was not coming very clear. But despite that, I think a couple of things we could easily understand Maharaj's mood. Every time when Maharaj gives a lecture, in the end, prasadam from his hand is assured for everyone. Whether it's Jagannath prasadam or wherever he travels, he carries a lot of prasadam and he distributes. And the other message that we could get is that all our occupational duties, whatever we do, if na utpaded yadi rati, shrama evai kevalam. So it is just waste of time if it cannot evoke attraction towards the Lord. That is what Maharaj is trying to convey. At least this part we could understand from this lecture. So now it's time to glorify the great Vaishnava, Maharaj. And so we will give an opportunity to, everyone. And very senior devotee in Radha Rasbihari Mandir Juhu, expert in all samskaras. So we would want to hear the glories about Maharaj from His Grace Dadi Bakshi Prabhu.
तले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा एवरीबॉडी बोलिए कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. This sound should go to Maharaj should listen your sounds. Today very special day, which is glorified to Maharaj. His disappearance day. So he went back to home, back to Godhead. So now you should say loudly Hare Krishna Mahamantra, very very loud, because Maharaj like to chant always in very loud. Loud mood and loving mood, everything. So now you chant very loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, Tirubhaptiti Mahasav ki jai. So, thank you Prabhuji, you given me opportunity first. But I'm not that much qualified to speak. But you have respected me as I am Maharaj God brothers. So there's many speakers here to speak today. Because actually I have a association with Maharaj 1975 here in Vrindavan. When I was a pujari here at this temple, I joined here also, this temple. So, and Maharaj was, when Prabhupada comes, and the Krishna Balaram temple, and Maharaj always walking along with the Prabhupada nearby, very close, very, very close. Then I asked one devotee, my God brother, one Prabhuji, I say, Prabhu, who's this devotee walking next to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada always asking his name, who is Swarup Damodar, who is Damodar, so who is he from? By that time, Maharaj Brahmachari, he's not a sannyasis. So the devotee told me that he's from Manipur, he's a scientist. So thus Prabhupada like him very much. He is very close to Prabhupada. So he told me. So that way, and Maharaj always, he's trying for everyone. He's also asking me, he thought maybe I am from some nearest to Europe, something like that. He spoke English to me. Where are you from? I say, I'm from Nepal. Oh, you're from Nepal, very nice. Manipur and Nepal is very close. There are many Nepali in Manipur also. He was telling me, he said, I should come to visit sometime. And then Prabhupada was, when the Swarup Damodar Maharaj, he was in Bombay. That time he brought so many the Manipuri devotees for martial dance, and there. So he make a wonderful martial dance and Jew temple in the courtyard. He bring so many turbans from Manipur also. He put all the Prabhupada disciples, God brothers, whoever there in Bombay, he put the turban. He also put me also turban by his hand. So his Maharaj very wonderful devotee. When he was Bombay, then he running BI very nicely. There a lot of book distribution was going on. So many college preaching was going on. Maharaj, inspiring. Prabhupada liked him very much. He said that Bombay on the second floor, it should be given to Swarup Damodar for BI preaching by Prabhupada orders. So they get BI office in Bombay. Then one of the Manipuri devotees, is Sudama Prabhu. He was Brahmachari. I was there for membership department. I was a membership director. He was with me for collecting for the money. Maharaj told that Manipur we require some money. We are building the temple. So he should be your assistant to collect for Manipur. I say, okay. So then the Sudama Prabhu, he was my partner in Bombay for 2 years. So by his collection, he's going to Manipur for that project. So like this, so Maharaj always is a friendly to me also, talking to nicely, and sometimes Maharaj sings so wonderful songs. Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya, Vaishnava Thakur, Ayanilo Premadana, Evara Karuna Kara, is that so many Parama Karuna Bahudu is Nitai Gaurav Chandra. This song is touching to my heart. It's a tear in the eye when Maharaj singing so loving and devotion. Very purely, so that one, touching the people, just like Prabhupada sing Jai Radha Madhava. So when Prabhupada sing Jai Radha Madhava, it's a tear in our eye. So like this, spiritual sound vibration. So same thing is Damodar Maharaj, same is a purity in the force. So he's very wonderful devotee, for dearmost disciple of Srila Prabhupada. There are so many disciples, but he is because he's a scientist. So he have when sometime in Vrindavan, when the Prabhupada give class in Vyasasana, then Prabhupada started speaking. When he is a sloka, then he said, when was scientist Swarup Damodar. So when the Maharaj come late, he say, why you late is present. So Maharaj says, sometimes I'm busy, some guest. So like this, Maharaj always require his name. So like this, so the Maharaj is very dear to Prabhupada for scientist preaching. So I request all Maharaj disciples, so you should follow his instruction nicely with what Prabhupada want, what the Bhakti Damodar Maharaj wants to preach and throw in the scientist and every college, university and this book distribution. So you should encourage yourself. And then Maharaj is very happy and pleased upon you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Dhanyavad. Bhakti Damodar Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very
His
much.
Grace Dadi Bakshi Prabhu ki. Thank you very much, Dadi Bakshi Prabhu. That he mentioned about the turban for everyone. So this was in the year 2002, and it was Maharaj's 65th Vyas Puja. And it was a great occasion when a lot of Manipuris came, and then everybody was carrying turban. And Maharaj was sitting with Sachinanda Maharaj on one side, and then Sridhar Maharaj on the other side. And all of them were wearing turban. What a sight to see. So we would now invite His Grace Panchagoda Prabhu to kindly glorify the Sri.
Disciple, Srila Prabhupada disciple here is taking care of so nicely Srila Prabhupada's Vrindavan temple. Hare Krishna.
Om Jnanatimarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj ki. So, I remember in the 70s, we would do Sankirtan in Miami, but one day we had off, so we had Yunan Sharanya. And I would walk in the mango grove. It was a very transcendental place. And I started reading Life Comes from Life. And there was a series of lectures. And there was a time, as mentioned, that Prabhupada took great interest in preaching to the scientific community. And he could really appreciate Swarup Damodar Goswami, his intellect, his ability to, again, philosophically carry the message of Godhead in a scientific way to the higher class. And not higher class, but Prabhupada, he was appreciating and empowering his disciples so that this Krishna consciousness movement could be accepted on the authority of logic, reason, and scientific presentation. It wasn't just some sentimentalism or fanaticism or, a mystical guru and very nice looking, robes, and many mystical things might be there. But Prabhupada was always very logical, reasonable, and practical. And I was reading how Prabhupada's father used to entertain all kinds of sadhus. So when his friend Naren was trying to have Prabhupada come and meet Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, Prabhupada had no interest because most of the people who were claiming to be spiritualists were just cheaters, and they were not really presenting anything of value. When Prabhupada finally surrendered and came in the presence of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, his whole being was transformed. And Srila Prabhupada, instead of having maybe nationalistic spirit or following Gandhi and Swaraj, the liberation of India, then he became a Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati man, that he felt this is the right person to carry Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message, to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. So in one sense, we can see how Swarup Damodar Maharaj, although PhD, working on his PhD in philosophy, that was in California, that Prabhupada recognized and empowered him to do that. There was always that story of a Nobel Prize winner when he was asked by Bhakti Swarup Damodar that, can you make, that they say that they can create life, that if I give you all the ingredients, can you create life? And the Nobel Prize winner says, that I cannot say. So basically, people are being fooled by the speculations of the scientists and Darwin theory and this theory. None of it's scientific, it's always changing, but the Bhagavatam is perfect. And Srila Prabhupada was very proud of his devotees. He said, my Guru Maharaj sent all of you, you're all pure devotees, to assist me in spreading this mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we met Maharaj many places in America, Bhuvaneshwar, and also here in Vrindavan, and always had a very energetic kirtan, very enthusiastic for the kirtan, and speaking with so many respectable scientists and philosophers. But also, when I was in Florida, we have a new BI, Hridayananda Maharaj and Brahmatirtha. Well, Brahmatirtha Prabhu, Robert Cohen, was also part of the original BI. And it definitely is a very important aspect of spreading Krishna consciousness. And if we take shelter of the servant, of the servant, of the servant, praise His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj for his preaching efforts, for his enthusiasm and guidance. And this way we'll feel also empowered and enlightened and cleansed. Just like when Srila Prabhupada heard Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, he felt 100 times, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times more benefit than following some other mundane movement. This is Srila Prabhupada's Sankirtan movement because he's a servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj is a loyal, dedicated, empowered servant of Srila Prabhupada. So if we take shelter of Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, we'll also get that kind of inspiration and empowerment. His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj ki.
Thank you very much, Panchagauda Prabhu.
It's a small gift. Because by the side, money. No, it's a gift for you. The Prabhu nicely brought out the various qualities of Maharaj, the scientific side and also the spiritual side. In fact, Sripad Maharaj used to say that the final distilled essence of all the religious principles is basically is the highest knowledge, that is the human culture, human values, and these values eventually lead you to desire for sober and saner qualities of life, you know, and including things like qualities like morality, truth, compassion, love, all that manifests only if one can embrace the highest principles of life. And that is the digital essence of all these religious principles. So that was beautifully explained by Maharaj. In his book, that is towards the harmony, peace and harmony. It's a book towards peace and harmony culture. Thank you very much, Sir Prabhu. So next, we would like to invite His Grace Radha Vallabh Prabhu. Radha Vallabh Prabhu, please.
कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। भगवान के विषय में बोलना बहुत कठिन नहीं लगता है, लेकिन किसी संत के विषय में कुछ कहना बड़ा कठिन लगता है। वैष्णव लोग शरीर बदलते हैं, महाराज अपने गुण और कला के अनुसार अभी हम सबके बीच में है। उनका जो आदेश है, उनका जो दर्शन है, वो आज भी वर्तमान है। महाराज श्री से मैं प्रथम बार दर्शन किया था केवल 78 में वृंदावन में। बहुत बातचीत नहीं था, कल दर्शन किया। 84 में महाराज जी बम्बे आए, उन दिनों में हम बम्बे थे। बम्बे में महाराज के कुछ डिसाइपल लोग हैं, जैसे रसराज प्रभु, तो हमें हाउस प्रोग्राम में ले जाते थे बम्बे में। महाराज श्री भी आए वहाँ पर। महाराज में एक बहुत बढ़िया गुण था कि किसी डिवोटी से बहुत जल्दी वो मिल जाते थे, कंधे पर भी हाथ रख लेते थे। तो उन्होंने मेरे को परिचित कराया और कहा कि महाराज जी ये बहुत बढ़िया कीर्तन करते हैं। तो महाराज बोले कि हाउस प्रोग्राम में ले चलो। तो महाराज श्री के साथ मैं हाउस प्रोग्राम में गया। उन दिनों में डिवोटी बहुत कम हुआ करते थे, ISKCON में बहुत भक्त नहीं होते थे, बड़ा मुश्किल से भक्त बनते थे, बहुत मुश्किल से कोई एक लाइफ मेंबर बनता था। दली भक्त प्रभु भी उन दिनों में वही थे। तो महाराज श्री के साथ में गया, तो महाराज जी ने कहा कि राधा माधव गाओ। मैं बोला कि महाराज श्री आप गाएं। बोले कि नहीं, मैं तो गाता हूँ, तुम गा के सुनाओ। मैं 3-4 लाइन गया, गा करके महाराज से कहा कि महाराज जी आप गाइए। महाराज जी के जो गाने की कला था, जिस प्रकार से महाराज स्वर से गाते थे और गाने के बाद जो उनको अंदर में आनंद की अनुभूति होती थी और वो आनंद चेहरे पर आता था महाराज का, बिल्कुल निर्भीक होकर के हंसते हुए मुस्कुराते हुए महाराज गाते थे। महाराज के जो टून है, महाराज के गाने की जो शैली है, आज भी कोई डिवोटी उनके जैसा नहीं गाता है। उनके जैसा कोई गाता ही नहीं महाराज के जैसा। आज कोई गुरु पूजा में एक लाइन लास्ट वाली कोई थोड़ा सा टच कर रहा था महाराज के साथ जैसा। महाराज बहुत ही ऑनेस्ट, और वो होते हैं प्रभुपाद जी के, जिसे हिंदी में कह सकते हैं वफादार आज्ञाकारी शिष्य। इतने ऊंची क्लास की पढ़ाई, शिक्षा दीक्षा प्रभुपाद जी प्रमाणिक जैसे गुरु मिले, और महाराज ने अपने होश में बहुत बड़े बड़े लोगों को परिवर्तन कर दिया, बदल दिया। और महाराज प्रीचिंग भी करते थे, बड़े बड़े जो साइंटिस्ट होते थे, इंजीनियर होते थे, प्रोफेसर होते थे, उन्हीं के बीच में उनको ज़्यादा अच्छा लगता था, उनकी बात समझते थे। तो महाराज जी का जो दर्शन था, उनकी जो बातें थी, और जीवन में उनका जो मैं सरलता देखा, विनम्र सरल भाव, कभी भी किसी से भी मिल सकते थे, वो किसी से भी बात कर लेते थे, और जब भी बात करते थे महाराज जी मुस्कुराते हुए बात करते थे। आपने देखा होगा, सभी ने दर्शन किया होगा। महाराज श्री ने प्रभुपाद जी की आज्ञा से देश विदेश में अनेक क्षेत्रों में बड़े बड़े लोगों को परिवर्तन किया, बहुत लोगों को बदला महाराज जी ने। महाराज के पाद पद्मों में मैं अपनी श्रद्धा सुमन अर्पित करता हूँ, और हम सब जैसे तुक्ष भक्तों पर भी महाराज श्री की कृपा बनी रहे, बना करके रखें।
So Prabhu brought about some nice qualities of Maharaj, especially his way he deals with people and intellectual people like professors, scientists, how he is dealing and convincing them. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhu. I requested Prabhuji to come and sit in the front, but Prabhuji said, no, I am fine behind. Let's welcome His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhu.
Gurave Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Panchakalpatrubhyashta kripasindhuvacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So how many Manipuris we have here today? That's a few, Karam Tubiri. Nunaitari. Because I was somehow or other, I wrote to Prabhupada to name our temple in Portland, because I was president Portland, Oregon for a few years. So somehow he named it New Manipur. So I went to the Manipuri Emporium in Delhi and found out how to say, how are you? And I'm fine in Manipuri. So we had some, in the beginning, some special relationship with Maharaj being from Manipur. And I always used to greet him and greet him with this, whatever tiny bit of Manipuri I knew. And Maharaj was always very kind to me. So I was very fortunate. I was here that year when, how many years is it now? 17, my goodness. And they brought Maharaj's divine form here to Vrindavan. He stayed here overnight. Then we took the form to Radhakund and wonderful ceremony. We placed him in samadhi. And it was an amazing thing that was noticed by all the devotees, because ordinarily, for ordinary people, when they leave their bodies, then there's a thing called rigor mortis. The whole body becomes very stiff, you know. But for great souls, the body always remains very soft. So Maharaj's body always was just like soft butter. He never went through this, you know, this thing. It was very amazing. And I remember them placing him in samadhi. So I was very fortunate to be there for this wonderful event. Well, I guess not wonderful, but for this event. And I have so many memories. I remember Maharaj walking with, because we were up in Portland, we heard that some scientist, a young boy from some place called Manipur, we hardly knew where Manipur was those days. So when we would come to LA to visit Prabhupada, we would see Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj would be there, and he would be arguing with Prabhupada. We were shocked, you know, because we were never think of arguing with the spiritual master, but he would be presenting the arguments of the scientists, and Prabhupada would be smashing them, or Prabhupada would present the arguments and Maharaj would smash them. It was so wonderful to see how much love and devotion that Prabhupada had for Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. And I remember in I guess it was Kumbh Mela of 1999. I've been to so many I can't remember, but I think we invited Maharaj to come because he was famous for taking his Manipuri groups all around the world and doing Manipuri dance and showing their mridanga playing and different things. So we invited Maharaj and all his whole crew to come to Kumbh Mela. So they came in the beginning, and it was very interesting because even in the beginning of Kumbh Mela, hardly any camps are really ready yet. You know, they don't start. You know, as they get close to the Amavasya, then they start building up. So there was practically nothing going on. But Maharaj came. You know, they have all their special turbans and their incredible mridanga playing, where they play the mridanga and practically jump around it like that. The mridanga would stay in one place, and you know, and they would do all kinds of acrobatics. And they would have, you know, their wonderful kirtan, and you know, all the foreign press that come because this is Kumbh Mela, so they were there from the beginning, you know, because that's just the way people are. And if something's happening, then you come in the beginning in America, you know. So there's nothing else was going on in the Kumbh Mela Kshetra. We were the only things all day in the newspapers and the TV. They were seeing Maharaj, and he was, as Radha Ballava was saying, he had that wonderful Manipuri kirtan. I'll try it, you know, a little bit. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we go all around the Kumbh Kshetra with this huge kirtan party, doing these Manipuri kirtans, everything. And so many times we're very fortunate to meet with Maharaj, and his preaching was so much appreciated by Srila Prabhupada because practically the whole world has become atheists because of this, the demoniac preaching of the atheistic scientists. There's some scientists now, of course, you know, since we formed Bhaktivedanta Institute, many scientists are coming, and we're finding many who actually have faith in God. But most of them, by their so-called empirical knowledge that if I can't see it, it don't exist, you know. But anybody seen a mind? Have you seen a mind lately? But everybody knows mind exists, so how a soul can not exist? But by their preaching, practically the whole world, everywhere we go, we see, sometimes in newspapers they do polls in this country, you know, and it's becoming more and more people are atheists. And of course, nowadays it's starting to change. Part of that must be from Maharaj's preaching, because nowadays people are doubting you. In the old days, you didn't dare doubt Darwin. If you spoke up against Darwin, you were practically ostracized from the scientific community. You couldn't get a job anywhere, so you had to toe the line. That was the scientists are all just bluffing, they don't have any. They have a deck of cards. There's nothing in it, as Panchagoda pointed out. They just say all these things, but when it comes to it, I'll give you all the ingredients. Can you create life? So they're just bluffing. They have nothing in their cards, but they keep on bluffing us and presenting all these. But now people are starting to doubt Darwinism, and the Bhaktivedanta Institute has come out with so many books, Forbidden Archaeology, because they just, whatever fits with their model, they accept. And if something doesn't fit, they kick it out. But now all these exceptions are coming in. Every day we're hearing that, they thought that there was, just like this morning in class, somebody was saying that, they said there was 300,000 species of life, and they said there's 400,000 species of life, and Bhagavatam says 900,000. Maybe one day they'll find out. Species of life in the water. But anyway, maybe one day they'll find out these, because every day we're seeing, they got their new Webb telescope, and they're saying that everything is, we have to throw out all our theories because now we discovered this. It's all just a big bluff. And this is all mainly due to the preaching. Now people are doubting. And so Prabhupada was very, very proud of Swarup Damodar. He was very, very happy, always too. And when Swarup Damodar Maharaj would come, he was always very, very happy. And this was the perfection of life. If somehow or other the spiritual master becomes pleased with you, then your life is perfect. Just like sometimes people ask me, why Maharaj left so early, why Tamal Krishna Maharaj left so early, why Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj left so early. I just feel that the rest of us here, we're just so fallen that Prabhupada needs all these big whips with him to try and pull us up. So he's bringing all the big whips back to Godhead to help him get the rest of us who were just so fallen here back there. And sometimes people lament to me that Maharaj, his service was incomplete, but we don't measure by material standards. The fact that he pleased the spiritual master, that is the perfection of life. If somehow or other we can please the spiritual master, our life is perfect. So Prabhupada was so pleased with Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. All of you who are his disciples here, you're very, very lucky to have such a wonderful spiritual master. And we pray that Maharaj will shower his blessings on us. So with these words, I'll try to keep it short. There's many people here. We offer our humble Shraddhanjali at the lotus feet of Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. Shri Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj ki jai. Scientific preaching ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prabhu. So, His Grace, Dinabandhu Prabhu also brought out so many wonderful qualities of Maharaj, which was very refreshing to hear, especially the Kirtan tune that you sung. It keeps on reverberating in our ears every now and then. Maharaj had a very nice quality when he should take a yatra. He will just he'll coin a new tune and he'll say, this is that particular yatra's tune. Like in 97, he took a bunch of all of us to Dwaraka and he composed a new tune. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then he said, this is Dwaraka tune. Then he went to Pandharpur in 2002 and he coined a new tune there and he said, this is Pandharpur tune. So I think this is really wonderful and thanks for bringing this up. And we have with us a very, very distinguished sannyasi, His Holiness Chandrabali Maharaj amongst us. I was so fortunate last week, we met each other. I took his association in Radha Gopinath Temple in Mumbai. And I just requested him, Maharaj, can you please come next week in Vrindavan to glorify. He said, sure, I'll definitely come. Because Maharaj was already ready to pour his good association with Sripad Maharaj. So we are very glad to have him, and we want to hear him or from him the glories of Srila Sripad Maharaj.
Salakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani
Once it held up to the Sydney Day, doing so many wonderful recitations of Damodar. I don't know what I can say to that, but outstanding achievements and qualities of this position in Krishna consciousness have been immensely
glorified the devotees. But I remember one thing Srila Prabhupada had said. It's not so much known, but it was a statement Prabhupada made. He said, when I came to the Western countries, I was looking, hopefully, to find some first-class men, but I could not find any first-class men. Some second-class men, no second-class men. Only third and fourth class, but one first class, Damodar. Yeah. So Prabhupada recognized him right away as being someone that had character, quality, culture, and of course great intellect. And Prabhupada, as we hear from Dinabana Prabhu, how much love and attention Prabhupada gave to Swarup Damodar Maharaj. Prabhupada considered preaching to the scientists, to the academicians, and those who are leaders in the world as one of the most important parts of our establishing our position in the world as a viable, philosophical, cultural, transcendental movement. And he saw Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj as the foundation to help bring that about. So many times, if you go through the database, you can see how many times Srila Prabhupada had discussions with Swarup Damodar Maharaj on various scientific aspects. And of course, how Srila Prabhupada would speak with such force in establishing Krishna's philosophy as that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and He is the person, and He is the source of all existence. And Swarup Damodar Maharaj many times would play the part of the atheist or the scientist, and just to bring out Srila Prabhupada's points in a very dynamic way. And Prabhupada wanted that. he wanted to find ways that he could discuss philosophical teachings, scientific principles in such a deep and clear way that he would be able to show the Krishna conscious perspective, which is ultimately the perspective coming from Shastra, coming from Krishna himself. So Prabhupada gave him much attention, time, and energy. And he also told all the leaders, he made a statement, a general statement. He said to the leaders in ISKCON, he said, whatever he wants, make sure you give it to him. He saw his preaching as such an important, cutting-edge part of bringing a clear understanding of what is the nature of the living entity and how the living entity's relationship with the Supreme Lord is based on the principle of consciousness. Prabhupada talked a lot about consciousness. In fact, Swarup Damodar Maharaj actually established one particular conference, I believe it was in 1990, on the origin of consciousness. When Prabhupada was discussing with him how to bring about that conference, Swarup Damodar Maharaj said, we should call it Bhakti Vedanta Vijnana. There was one more word, presentation, Vijnana. Prabhupada said, no, don't put my name in it. They will call me a Jnani, that's all. So then he changed it and said, okay. And they came up and they decided the origin of consciousness. That was in 1990. Of course, everyone knows in 1986 was the first scientific conference that was established in Bombay. Many of the leading scientists that it took him months, not months, actually years to organize that conference. I remember I was kind of watching as things unfolded. Many, many years he put together and got many of these scientists to agree to come and have a dialogue in Mumbai. And that was in 1986. Again, in 1997, and in one more conference he also, and that was called Life Comes from Life. So he worked really tirelessly to bring about Krishna consciousness in a way that was very pleasing to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada gave him a lot of time and attention, and he wanted us to really understand the importance of this part of our movement. And Swarup Damodar Maharaj was a key principle or key personality to bring that about. And Prabhupada gave him a lot of attention. And of course, in 1974, he established the Bhakti Vedanta Institute and gathered a few other devotees who had those qualifications, those adhikaris. And together they wrote articles, and later on books were published also. So Prabhupada said, whatever money you need, you just ask me. I will give you whatever you need. Because Prabhupada had so much emphasis on, as Dinabandhu Prabhu said, destroying this illusion, because it's the basis of the whole material consciousness that life comes from matter. Of course, we heard also from Panchagoda, when he said that he explained how when there was a conference and Swarup Damodar Maharaj was there, and one Nobel scientist, he had won a Nobel Prize. He had written articles and had become famous for his theories that matter is the source of life. And so he made a presentation, oral presentation at this conference, and Swarup Damodar Maharaj challenged him right in public and said, well, if I actually give you the ingredients, can you produce life? And he said, I can't say. So that's what that's their whole thing. As the deck of cards, there's nothing in it. It's just all the show. So, and of course, writing books, traveling around, meeting important people. On a personal level, I had a lot of association with Maharaj. I consider myself fortunate. And he would come to Chicago, and at that time I was the resident sannyasi at the time. And the World Parliament of Religions was based in Chicago. It still is. And he would come to their conferences and also come to the temples, lead kirtan, give classes. And so that was one of my first opportunities to really get to know this great personality. And he was so friendly, so open, so simple. I remember one time when we were at a gathering in Italy. I think it was in Villa Villaggio in Milan. And it was a glorification of Srila Prabhupada. And it was his turn to speak. He was going to speak about Srila Prabhupada. He said, I'm going to tell stories about Srila Prabhupada that are funny. He just wanted to change the mood and make everything light. And he said, I'm just going to tell humorous stories of my experiences with Srila Prabhupada. I thought, this is interesting. He wanted to make it light for everybody. So, and he did. And it kind of made, everyone was talking about Srila Prabhupada. Of course, that was wonderful. But he came from another angle. Very simple, very humble, humorous. He was telling me one time, he said, you know, Maharaj, there's a conference in Atlanta, Georgia, by these scientists. They have come together and they're going to talk about humility. A conference on humility. He says there's 3-day conferences in Atlanta, Georgia. He said, I'm going to go just to see what they say about humility. So, in 2004, we were together at the World Parliament of Religions gathering worldwide in Barcelona, Spain. And one night was designated as Hindu night. So that was all of the groups that were representing various categories of Hinduism would come together and have a little bit of a satsang. So when we arrived there, the Mayavadis had taken over the whole place. They got there first, they grabbed the stage, and they made sure they controlled the whole thing. So I was there, Maharaj came, we all came, and so we sat there and we listened to their nonsense. They were talking about, you know, you can be so powerful. You just chant this mantra, you do these prayers, and you'll be powerful. You can control material energy. And I was just there. I was just frying. I was getting so angry. Swarup Damodar Maharaj is there. He's just peaceful, you know. Of course, I don't know what he was thinking, but he seemed real calm in the midst of all this. And then at one point, they noticed him. They had taken over the whole program, and then they noticed Swarup Damodar Maharaj, and they called him up and said, "Can you speak something?" So he came, and very graciously, very humbly, without any pretense, he came and he sat and he started to speak, and he chose one verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam in the first canto. The Vasudeva Kata. Vasudeva is the best, he's the highest form of sacrifice, he's the highest form of austerity, he is the highest form of devotion. So many statements within the verse. He spoke about that, just glorifying Krishna as the best in all categories. And the Mayavadis listened. I was watching them to see what kind of reactions. I'm not sure if they really got it, but he was just listening. But he was so gracious and so gentlemanly like that. And because of that, they had somehow allowed him to come up, because they made sure nobody else was going to speak unless they called him. And that's the way the Mayavadis were. And then at the end, Swarup Damodar Maharaj began kirtan. And then the devotees were there, we had a book table, and we all started to engage in kirtan. And all the Mayavadis left. And then all the people who were there, and there must have been 300 or 400 people who had came to the program, they loved the kirtan. They were smiling, they were getting up and dancing, and later on I was talking to them, they were saying, oh, this is so wonderful. So Maharaj just changed the whole thing. He very strategically understood how to deal with the situation, and when he brought in kirtan, that changed everything. So that was nice. He was really especially kind to me, and I was always curious. He is so exalted, but he's taking so much time. He would talk to me, telling me about what he was doing. We traveled in Italy together, and at one point we shared a room together. We were both traveling together. He was on his way to a conference in Rome, and I was also in Italy at the time. And then one morning he came up to me. He handed me 100 euros. I said, what's this? He said, you need it. Here, take it. I said, well, Maharaj, I can't take any money from you. He said, no, that's all right. You take it. He was very insistent. I think that's the first time in my experience in Krishna consciousness that such a senior devotee gave me a donation. I think he was thinking, this Swami looks like he needs some money. Because, I was kind of a ragtag kind of guy. So it was so sweet. To be with him was so wonderful. And he would laugh, speak light about, what the work he was doing. And and when I remember very clearly where I was and how I reacted when I heard he had departed the world. I was in Montreal, Canada. I was with Niranjan Swami. We were there, and the news came. It was October 2nd, 2006. It was such a shock. And it was not only a shock, but it was like we were speechless. We couldn't, I didn't know how to react. We knew it was true, but at the same time, we didn't want to believe it. Such a great personality who gave so much time, energy, and culture to our movement. When he brought his Manipuri dancers and drum presentations and martial arts presentations to Mayapur, it was a spectacular. I don't know if some of you were there during that time. And I think either the day after or around the same day, all the gopis on the altar had Manipuri dresses, including Srimati Radharani. And that was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful display of culture to see all of the Astasakis dressed in the Mayapurni style. So, yeah. And as Dinabandhu Prabhu mentioned, he went around the world presenting that. And what he did by presenting that, he really gave authority to our temples. People would come just to see or just to be experienced what he gave. And that really helped the temples. Wherever he went, people would come. And that made the temples more and more attractive to people in general. So he did so much to spread Krishna consciousness, his scientific, his articles, his books, and his devotees. I used to associate with many of his disciples. They were always so like him, so humble and so enthusiastic for preaching. So, today is a very important day. It's a very special day. It is a very honorable day to glorify such a great personality, because this glorification really pleases the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We want to please the Supreme Lord. We glorify those who are very dear to him. And I can honestly say that any glorification that comes to Swarup Damodar Maharaj is really an understatement. He is much more glorious than what I can understand. But I know from my own experience that just being with him was so wonderful. His kirtans, his humor, and his friendliness. He was always so friendly and so accommodating. So thank you very much for giving me a chance to speak. All glories to Sripad Swarup Damodar Maharaj Ki
Jai. Thank you very much, Maharaj. It's indeed our good fortune to hear the glories from the mouth of His Holiness. Thank you very much. Maharaj mentioned about the Rome conference that took place in 2004. The conference was Life and its Origin.
Namo Vishnu Varaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Bacharne Nirvasesa Sunyavadi Vaskacha Desatarne Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Gadadhar Shri Basari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna. Kali Yuga is a difficult age. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, "What do I have to be proud of? I was born in Kali Yuga." However, owing to the influence of Kali Yuga, people become very, very proud and very, very arrogant, lacking humility, and in consequence become irreligious. The actual situation is that we are spirit souls temporarily having a human experience. Not that we are humans striving for a spiritual experience. And in Kali Yuga, what militates against people thinking they're humans and inspiring for a spiritual experience is that the atheistic propaganda is that life comes from matter. There has been some accidental, unlikely combination of atoms which has temporarily produced consciousness. But at the time of death, there is nothing. This is atheism. Shunyavad. In the railway stations, as you're waiting for trains, on the loudspeaker, they announce the different numbers of the trains which are coming at various platforms. And you hear on the loudspeaker, shunya, shunya, zero. It's nothing. And some of the trains have the number zero. Shunya, shunya. So this is this zeroness, that there's nothing. This is a product of Kali Yuga. Srila Prabhupada's main preaching was against impersonalism, that Nirvisesh, Sunyavadi, that impersonalists, that God did not have a form, He did not have attributes, it was simply some energy. God was an energy. And also Prabhupada preached very heavily against that there was no God, that God was zero. We were just... So people in Kali Yuga, what they aspire to is to have wall-to-wall entertainment, including eating as an entertainment. They just want to be entertained, and simultaneously they want to continually upgrade to increase the standard of their entertainment. So this is the world. This is what most people in India, they are engaged in. They want to make more and more money, get more and more facility, and enjoy their mind and their senses more and more. So this was Srila Prabhupada's main preaching against this, against impersonalism and atheism. In Kali Yuga, atheism is taught in the universities. It's taught according to the understanding of Charles Darwin, that the human species has evolved from simple one-atom creatures, simple amoebas, that they themselves accidentally manifest in a soup of material atoms many, many millions of years, billions of years ago. And slowly, slowly we have developed into people, we have developed. So this is
Srila Prabhupada felt this was the most serious argument against people becoming pious, against people becoming religious, against people worshipping the Supreme Lord. So when Srila Prabhupada understood that Bhakti Swarup Damodar, who became Maharaj, that he was from a Vaishnava family, from a Vaishnava culture, and he was a scientist, and he was a PhD. He was a very top qualified scientist. So Srila Prabhupada was very excited by this, and it took very little persuasion to convince Swarup Damodar Maharaj that instead of just upgrading material circumstances, he should use his intelligence, use his situation in order to propagate Dharma, propagate Vaishnavism, specifically propagate Krishna consciousness. So as Dinabandhu has said, as Chandramauli Maharaj has said, Srila Prabhupada was very, very affectionate towards Swarup Damodar Maharaj. He was a first-class man. He was a person who didn't need training, who didn't need encouragement. He was already manifest simply to encourage and to push on Lord Chaitanya's movement. So it took very little encouragement, and he was such a wonderful devotee who had done so many, spoke very, very bravely, very dynamically, very confidently, that life is an attribute, that consciousness is an attribute of the soul. It's a spiritual quality. It cannot be manifest in any way by material ingredients. And the challenge is, if you think so, then take the material ingredients and manifest life. Srila Prabhupada was similarly very happy, very pleased with Hansadutta, who when he was in Sri Lanka, there was a big intellectual atheist called Dr. Kavor, and Hamsarupa said, I will challenge you. I will challenge $50,000. You take the ingredient, just make a mosquito, make something simple. Anything simple. Just 50. A lot of money in those days is maybe $500,000 today. A lot of money. He said, I will give the money. I challenge. So it was going backwards and forwards. And of course, the person couldn't manifest anything. And Swarup Damodar Maharaj said, take the ingredients. What can you're saying life comes from matter? Fine. It's an interesting theory. Can you demonstrate this? In even a small way. And it's not possible, because the more that we undertake the purificatory process of Vaishnavism, the more we apply ourselves to the sadhana, the more we can identify that we're spiritual entities temporarily in these material bodies. So this militates against the atheism of Kali Yuga. So this was Srila Prabhupada's main preaching: impersonalism, against impersonalism and against atheism. And in Swarup Damodar Maharaj, he was this wonderful, amazing, impossibly amazing. Srila Prabhupada was going to the West. What is he going to do with these people? They simply want to eat and sleep. How can he encourage them? And there was Swarup Damodar, highly educated man, highly intelligent. We all have some intelligence. We all have some buddhi. And this intelligence is, otherwise, how can we apply ourselves to Vaishnavism if we have no intelligence? In this ocean of propaganda that we should just joy 24 hours a day, entertain ourselves. There's so many people become billionaires. YouTube, Facebook, it's entertaining. It's entertainment. We're simply entertaining ourselves, and these people are becoming wealthy beyond any wealth which has ever been owned or ever manifest in the history of the planet, simply by providing entertainment. And if we include food in the entertainment, the people are continually. So Srila Prabhupada, he was against this atheism, and Swarup Damodar, he was this person. He was amazing, wonderful. Chandramouli Maharaj says, even I don't have the comprehension to understand how amazing he was. Chandramouli Maharaj said, he was very amazing. In my capacity to understand, he was exceedingly amazing. But I know I don't have the capacity to understand how fully amazing. So, all of us have some intelligence. Swarup Damodar Maharaj materially and spiritually was highly intelligent. There are few of us who have such intelligence. There are other educated devotees, highly educated devotees. There are devotees who have PhDs. But most of us are just, we have a low-level intelligence. So how can we advance in Krishna consciousness? How can we become the admirers, the followers of Swarup Damodar Maharaj? How can we please him? We cannot mostly please him by our degree of intellectual ability, but if we consider he was given a gift by Krishna, and he used this to develop preaching, to develop his own Krishna consciousness. If we understand that we too have various qualities, various gifts, various attributes, and if we identify some of those and we apply them in our own lives, in our own pursuit of Krishna consciousness, to understand truly that we are spiritual beings temporarily having this human experience. And the more that we apply ourselves to Krishna consciousness seriously, not just to become part of Manipuri culture, not just to become part of ISKCON culture, not just to become part of Vrindavan culture, just to do the things that the local people are doing, consider ourselves a Brijbasi. No, but actually examining ourselves very, very carefully, applying ourselves very, very seriously to the sadhana and to the process of sadhana bhakti, of Krishna consciousness, and this, us, the followers and admirers of Swarup Damodar Maharaj, this would please him very, very gratefully. So, I am his godbrother. I have utmost respect, as all of the Vaishnavas did, for Swarup Damodar Maharaj. And some of you are his followers. Some of you have taken him to be the focus of your inspiration. And some of you are intellectual, some of you are scientifically minded. But even those, and even those who are not, are what we must do is to use what we have to be the type of Vaishnav to achieve the type of surrender that he had in our own lives individually, and this will be pleasing to him, and then we can say, yes, we are truly the followers of Swarup Damodar Maharaj, because we are following in his footsteps to surrender to the Supreme Lord, to surrender to Krishna, to give everything we have, just as he has done. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Thank you very much, Smara Hari Prabhu. So, we have about 15 minutes and we have 3 speakers. So, His Grace Mukunda.
Hare Krishna. Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Itadalaye. Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tar Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we are very fortunate to be here in Vrindavan Dham in this auspicious time. And today we are, of course, Braj, Vrindavan is always auspicious. And so we are here assembled to celebrate the disappearance of His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. And all the devotees have nicely glorified His Holiness. And so myself also had personal experience of His Holiness and His wonderful qualities. He used to come every year for Prabhupada's Disappearance Day, actually without fail. One of the few devotees, of course many devotees have different services throughout the world and they may not be able to come. Or maybe we cannot notice everyone, but because he was a leader, and GBC and spiritual master, so I notice him every day, every year without fail for Prabhupada's Disappearance Day. And always he was there, of course in a service mood, and usually we glorify Prabhupada and he was also glorifying, and then afterwards there's an abhishek, and then usually it's almost time for prasad, and most of the devotees they go for prasad. And then many times in the Samadhi where we had the Pushpanjali, many times not many devotees were there, but he was always there for Pushpanjali, and either he or His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, who is of course GBC here, but they were like, one year he was doing Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and one year His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj was doing the arti on Prabhupada's Disappearance Day at noon time. And then only he was going for prasad. So he was a wonderful, ideal Vaishnav, pure Vaishnav, having, of course, appeared in a Vaishnav culture, environment. And then he was also actually, by his personal life, he was living that Vaishnav culture and he was teaching the Vaishnav culture, especially when he was coming here, and he used to come also. A few times he had come to celebrate, upon the request of his disciples also, his Vyasa Puja, and he was doing it in a very exemplary way. For example, one time in one place, Radhe Dam nearby, so then a nice arrangement was there, and he was showing and he was glorifying Prabhupada, he was glorifying the previous acharyas, and there were photos of Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta, and showing that actually the spiritual master is a representative of the Guru Parampara, is a representative of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is a representative of Sri Radha Krishna. And then even so, he was accepting the offerings and in a humble way, and of course definitely directing to everything to Guru Garanga Krishna, and then accepting a little offering which they were presenting to him, some foodstuffs, but then just a little bit to honor. But then he was very much concerned that everyone should be nicely seated in the temple room. Arrangement was made, and even here in Balaram Hall, and he was personally supervising the serving of all the Vaishnavas, and then making sure the senior devotees in one place, and then those less senior, and the traditional items were prepared. Manipur, like rice was there, and very nicely presented, and everything was served on the banana leaves, not the normal leaf plates which we have, or stainless steel plates, but on banana leaves, and they were putting salt and the chili for those who needed some more salt and chili. And the way how to serve, first the rice and then the sabjis, according to the tradition of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. And then whenever he was here with his devotees, even during Kartik, there was always a traditional performance of the devotees from Manipur dancing or playing the drum in a traditional style of Manipur, and or even the martial art is also famous there, and the devotees were also, they were trained in that, and they were showing very nicely these aspects of the Vaishnava culture, not simply serving Krishna, but also adopting the Vaishnava culture according to Varna ashram. And he wanted these devotees to adopt that culture and then try to live according to that culture, and then fully taking up Krishna consciousness by chanting the holy names and surrendering to Krishna. So he was teaching that by his own example. And so he used to also chant very beautifully different Vaishnava bhajans and glorification of Mahaprabhu and glorification of Radha and Krishna. And as we know also, before he left, just a few days before, he was absorbed in hearing the Vaishnava bhajans in regards to Radha and Krishna's wonderful pastimes. And so his devotional aspect was very wonderful and exemplary, inspiring, and then so that was very much appreciated by myself and many devotees. And of course Prabhupada, as we know and as we have seen and heard, he very much loved Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, of course because he was a Vaishnav, but also because, as we have heard and we have seen and we have gotten all his books which he presented, a scientific understanding of, according to the Srimad Bhagavatam, of the creation of the universe, and he was trying to preach to the scientists, and he was quite successful also. And therefore Prabhupada very much encouraged him in that field, and he was very much appreciated by the Vaishnavas for that contribution, and he was respected amongst the scientists also. Even the atheists, they were actually respecting him because of his gentle behavior, because of, although they didn't understand anything about Vaishnavism, but because the pure devotee is a perfect gentleman. And a perfect gentleman, he knows how to deal with everyone, even with the atheists, even with the materialistic persons. So, and Ajata Shatruhu, a Vaishnav, so he doesn't have any enemy. He loves everyone, he loves Krishna, he loves everyone. Even if somebody is against him, he will simply tolerate. Like Yudhishthira Maharaj, but still be kind and loving. And I had personal interactions with him here in Vrindavan, specifically also when he was giving initiation. They had asked me to do the yagya, and also in regards to Prabhupada Seva in the Samadhi, and also in Radha Damodar, because in the beginning when I first came here there were not so many devotees and there was not so much money. And the early years of our Krishna Balaram temple here in the 80s, even late 80s. So the GBC, they appointed the different GBCs to help with the Seva and the Samadhi, and in Radha Damodar also. And then they had to give money, and it was every year it was decided which GBC had to come here and oversee the Seva of Prabhupada for 3 months and give a donation also in dollars, which was needed at that time. And he was always completely punctual. He came 2 days before his turn, and he always had 2 pujaris with him who were nicely trained. And then he himself, the first day was there doing the Mangalatik and being there for the greeting of Srila Prabhupada at 7 o'clock and making sure that the devotees, they were nicely learning how to do seva, of course also with the assistance of the present pujaris here and myself. And then sometimes even towards the end he used to come again also. So that was very exemplary. Other times, other GBCs, they were not always on time, and sometimes I had to call him, Maharaj, when you're coming, your turn is there, where are your pujaris, where's the money? But he was always on time, and he was very much concerned that the seva was going on nicely. So that was very wonderful, very impressive, and always talking very gently, very sweetly. I mean, I never saw him angry. Of course, I didn't see him so much, but still, you can see from the person how he was speaking with the other devotees, with the disciples. Very, very gentle, very, very sweet, and very kind. So I have very good impressions. And so on this day, we remember him. And we pray for his mercy so that we can also become perfect Krishna conscious gentlemen, and we can also help Prabhupada in spreading Krishna consciousness. Of course, we cannot do as much as he was doing, but even if we can just do a little percentage of what he was doing, and so then our life should be successful. So on this auspicious day, we pray that we may be able to get a few drops of his mercy so that we can become good followers of Srila Prabhupada. His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for bringing out nice, sweet qualities of Maharaj. In fact, there's a famous statement of Srila Prabhupada that Swarup Damodar is such a nice devotee that he can only make friends. No one can be his enemy. This is documented. So, Prabhuji also brought out that point. Now, we have a paucity of time. So, we have only about... Actually, we have gone past the time. So, I would just request Ishwar Prabhu. Prabhu, would you like to glorify? Okay. Then, can we... After you? Yeah. So, we will request Ishwar Prabhu to speak. And then we will request His Grace Sarvabhauma Prabhu to speak as well.
Less than 5 minutes. Gaurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tabhaktaya Namo Nama Vanchakapati Rubhyascha Kripa Sindhi Bevacha Patitanam Pavana Vibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Nama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is a very auspicious day that we have been hearing the wonderful quality of such a great exalted Vaishnava as Srila Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. So, because the great devotees have been said so much, so what can I say? It's mentioned in the scriptures that the glories of Krishna has been sung, has been described by Ananta Shes since time immemorial. And Ananta Dev has never come to an end of it. Similarly, the glories of Krishna's devotees have also been sung by great devotees. So such glories has never come to an end. As a matter of fact, the more we describe the glories of a Vaishnava, the much more we will come to know of it. So, Srila Maharaj was one of Srila Prabhupada's, let's say, the Lieutenant General of Chaitanya Prabhu's Sankirtan Army. Because Srila Prabhupada established the Sankirtan Army, and Srila Prabhupada himself was the Senate Party General, and many personalities, especially Srila Swarup Damodar Maharaj was one of the Lieutenant Generals, great personalities. I know myself, in my beginning days of book distribution, around in the late 70s, early 80s, some of the books which I actually loved to distribute, this was in Africa, was the Life Comes from Life, when this book came out around 17 or something. Life Comes from Life and the Scientific Basis of Krishna Consciousness. Because, we used to preach to the college students and university students. So this book was always
is challenging to the intellectuals, especially, just like we've been hearing of those who say that the scientists, they can create life, but they only talk. They like to make big talk, but they can never produce. They can never prove anything. They can do something in the laboratory, but they can never really actually do it. So we used to distribute a lot of this book, Life Comes from Life, The Scientific Basis of Christian Consciousness. That's some of the 2 books, which was authored by Damodar Maharaj, which we love to distribute. So Maharaj was not just a scientist, a scholar, but he was also a great devotee. A great devotee, and one of the qualities of a devotee is simplicity. As they say that simplicity is Vaishnavism. Maharaj was so simple. I mean, when I first came, from the time I first met him until he passed away, that simplicity was always manifest in his personality. Even though he was such a great learned person, such a great scholar and all that, but still, his practice of Vaishnavism was always done in such a simplistic manner. I remember in San Francisco, during the Rath Yatra, when Maharaj would bring the Manipuri dancers, and then Maharaj himself would dress in a simple way with a big turban, he said, and he would be dancing on the stage, singing the Bhagavad Gita slokas on the stage himself. So nobody could ever expect that, such a personality would be singing this way. But, and of course to him, the propagation of Krishna consciousness, the propagation of Vaishnava culture is much more important to him than the scientific preaching. And that's one of the things which you see Maharaj, that over time, towards the end of his passing, he was much more focused on the bhajans, singing bhajans, the Vaishnava cultures, and then we'll be preaching about the simplicity, about calmness, all these things. So anyway, actually, when I was just in Calcutta in 2006, when this was beginning of October, and then the temple president called me up, said that, Swarup Damodar Maharaj just passed away. So I was very, very shocked. I was surprised. I said, how come? So immediately I went to the BI office in Calcutta, and then Maharaj was there. He was just lying down. His body, there was no visible sign that he passed away. His body was lying down there with his bead back on his hand. It was as if he was ready to be talking to us. He was very, very calm. There was no sign that this is someone who had passed away. It's like he was ready to be speaking. So, and of course, Maharaj had already left, and then his body was brought to Radhakund the next day. And so, anyway, it's a great. I consider myself very privileged that I met such a great personalities, and who had made such an immense contribution to the Vaishnava world, and especially to ISKCON society. So, Srila Swarup Damodar Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Ishwar Prabhu. So before I invite His Grace Sarvabhauma Prabhu, just 2 announcements. All the glorifications. There will be Pushpanjali and Arti, and following which there will be feast prasadam. The prasadam for everyone will be served in Goshala, that is Krishna Balram Hall. And only for Srila Prabhupada's disciples, it will be held here at 2 p.m. That is one announcement. And the second one is all Sripad Maharaj disciples are requested to come for the meeting this evening at 4 p.m. in the first floor of the guest house. That's the conference hall. So there will be a meeting of disciples of Srila Sripad Maharaj. So all of you who are present here, please make a note and do make yourself available. We would like to invite now the last speaker before Pushpanjali, His Grace Sarvabhauma Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर स्वामी महाराज की। Srila Prabhupada said, in a modern world, the one who is PhD is better preacher accepted in the society more than sannyasi. प्रभुपाद ने कहा कि जो PhD पढ़ा लिखा है और भक्त है तो वो सन्यासी से ज़्यादा समाज में उसके प्रचार का महत्व है। तो स्वरूप दामोदर स्वामी PhD करने के बाद प्रभुपाद जी से मिले थे और फिर उन्होंने सन्यास लिया तो उनके पास डबल सन्यास था। PhD का भी सन्यास था, PhD सन्यास भी था और फिर वर्ण आश्रम का सन्यास भी ले लिया, तो डबल सन्यासी थे। और क्योंकि डबल सन्यासी थे इसलिए राधा कुंड में जगह मिली। और राधा कुंड में भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद कहते थे, राधा कुंड इज ए प्लेस फॉर आवर वर्शिपेबल गोस्वामीज। We can live at Govardhan and go only to serve them at Radha Kund and then come back to Govardhan. We are not eligible to live in Radha Kund. ये भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती महाराज कहते थे। सो महाराज राधा कुंड में महाराज का जो निवास है, अब जो यहाँ राधा कुंड में निवास है, इसका मतलब राधा कुंड राधा रानी से तो अभिन्न है, तो इसका मतलब वो राधा रानी के, जिसको अभी कहा था कि राधिकाय तदालिये, राधा के राधिकाय तदालिये, राधा रानी के जो तदालिये मतलब उनका जो दी एसोसिएट ऑफ राधा रानी सखी, तो वहाँ जगह मिली। सो दैट प्लेस। परम पूज्य महाराज जी के साथ पहले तो 2001 में महाराज कुंभ मेला में आए थे। ही केम टू द कुंभ मेला विद ए फुल बस ऑफ मणिपुरी डिवोटीज। और कुंभ मेला के ग्राउंड में व्हेन दे वर डूइंग कीर्तन, ऐसे फायर ब्रांड की तरह सारे न्यूज़पेपर के अंदर आया कि ये ISKCON के डिवोटी, पूरे कुंभ मेला हिल गया। And Maharaj was so simple, he was living with us in a tent। और सर्दी कैसी होती है जून के और जनवरी के महीने में प्रयागराज में। महाराज ने कहा साइंटिफिक कॉन्फ्रेंस यहाँ करनी है सर्वों में। और उस मेले में दीनबंधु साथ प्रभु जी के साथ हम सेवा में थे, तो वहाँ से हमने कोशिश किया कि वी ट्राई टू ब्रिंग सम प्रोफेसर साइंटिस्ट ऑन द स्टेज। और उस कुंभ मेले में वी हैव ए साइंटिफिक कॉन्फ्रेंस। और उसमें महाराज का जो कीर्तन में जो मधुर, महाराज का हरे कृष्ण चैंटिंग जो है वो सो स्वीट, एक अलग ही दुनिया का। इट वॉज फ्रॉम डिफरेंट वर्ल्ड एंड ही वॉज एब्जॉर्ब्ड इन दैट। और दूसरी बार कुंभ मेला 2001 हुआ, फिर 2004 में बेंगलोर में महाराज नेचर क्योर में पूरा महीना रहे, फुल 1 मंथ। और 15 दिन 20 दिन हम भी उसी समय उसी नेचर क्योर में थे। तो महाराज के साथ बहुत निकट में कुंभ मेले में कोई 5-7 दिन, मोर देन 5-6 days वी लिव टुगेदर। महाराज का संग, दर्शन, प्रवचन और उनके भाव को देखा। फिर वहाँ नेचर क्योर में महाराज ने कहा बिल्डिंग को ठीक कर रहे हैं ताकि अंदर रहने वाला आत्मा सुख से प्रचार कर सके। जस्ट मेकिंग दिस, सर्विसिंग कर रहे हैं, गाड़ी की जैसे सर्विसिंग होती है। और फिर दूसरी बात जो मैं महाराज के विषय में कह के बात पूरी करूँगा, आई जस्ट फिनिश दैट। दिल्ली में मंदिर के अंदर में जा रहा था,
महाराज ने कहा सर आई एम गोइंग टू पाकिस्तान। मुझे बोला मैं पाकिस्तान जा रहा हूँ। मैंने बोला महाराज मैं चलूँ साथ? चला गो। बोलो लाहौर में कोई कॉन्फ्रेंस है एंड आई हैव टू गो, क्योंकि जनरली पाकिस्तान श्रीला प्रभुपाद का टिकट अगर होता था ट्रांजिट पाकिस्तान में, बोल कैंसिल कर देते, नहीं चाहिए। he never has a transit in Pakistan. उसके बाद मेरे को चार सन्यासी, मेरे नज़र में 4-5 सन्यासी जो पाकिस्तान में आए हैं, लेकिन लाहौर में उनमें से कोई भी नहीं गया है। महाराज लाहौर गए थे यहाँ से। नहीं, मैं लाहौर तो लव रामचंद्र के पुत्र की राजधानी पुरानी थी लाहौर। लाहौर में क्यों कोई नहीं गया? क्योंकि लाहौर में कोई हिंदू रहता नहीं है। कराची हम जाते हैं हर साल, बहुत सारे हिंदू हैं, कोई समस्या नहीं है। जितने और सब गए वो कराची जाते हैं। महाराज ऐसी जगह, मुझे कहा अब कोई चेंज करके ड्रेस जाना पड़ेगा क्या? पूछा सर वो क्या ना चेंज ड्रेस? मैंने बोला महाराज ऐसे ही चले जाइए, तब लोग देखेंगे, नहीं तो आप सब जैसे लगेंगे, उसमें क्या फ़ायदा। लेट द पीपल बी एस कोशिश। और महाराज फिर इसी अटारी से बाय रोड वाले रास्ते से, वाघा वाले बॉर्डर से पाकिस्तान गए सेमी इंटरफेथ के अंदर, और इसी ऐसे ही गए। ठीक है, साइंटिस्ट के हिसाब से कोई ज़रूरत हो तो ठीक है, लेकिन ही वॉज बोल्ड टू गो टू पाकिस्तान। बड़े बड़े को हम पाकिस्तान जाने को कहते हैं, बोले पागल हो गए हो क्या? कहाँ भेज रहे हो? वेयर आर यू सेंडिंग मी? कोई जाने को तैयार नहीं है। और वैसे हम जहाँ जाते हैं वहाँ तो आपकी तरह हजारों लोग आते हैं कथा सुनने के लिए, हिंदू हैं। यहाँ तो लाहौर में कोई हिंदू नहीं था। महाराज का तो इंटरेक्शन सारे ही इंटरनेशनल जो भी होगा वो तो दूसरा ही था। तो ये महाराज का एक बोल्डनेस फॉर प्रीचिंग, कहीं भी जाने की ज़रूरत है, एनीवेयर ही इज़ रेडी टू गो। ये महाराज की एक विशेषता देखी। एंड सिंपलिसिटी तो बहुत अपनी जगह पे थी। साइंटिस्ट उसके बाद, और एक समय था महाराज सन्यास तो पहले ही ले लिया था। प्रभुपाद जी ने उनको प्रभुपाद जी ने उनको कहा था यहीं यहाँ ये पीछे हमारा जो यहाँ बनाओ BI, ये जो पीछे हमारे गुरुकुल के इस तरफ जो प्लाट पड़ा है ना, यहाँ प्रभुपाद ने कहा BI बनाओ, ये जगह बोला था, यू मेक ए BI हियर। वी वांट रियली, Prabhupada wanted preaching at least highest the intellectual class, scientific preaching, BI. Then he wanted preaching to the villages, गांव-गांव में बैलगाड़ी में जाओ. The two things. तो बीच वाला तो अपने आप आ जाएगा ना भाई, बाकी तो सैंडविच हो जाएगा अपने आप. Just you do these two, the middle will automatically उसके अंदर अपने आप आ जाएगा. अब बैलगाड़ी वाला भी थोड़ा थोड़ा चल रहा है, लेकिन अब हम गाड़ियों वाले हो गए. So these two preachings are बड़ी फाउंडेशन. दिस वाज प्रभुपाद's विजन. एंड एक प्रीचिंग का पूरा भार महाराज ने उठाया था BI वाला. सो यहाँ BI बनाने का प्रभुपाद जी ने महाराज को यही कहा था टाक करते हुए. सो प्रभुपाद जी के गोलोक जाने के उपरांत भारत के अंदर भारतीय लोगों को कृष्ण भावना में उत्साह के साथ जोड़ के रखने के लिए सब GBC ने कहा कम से कम 2-3 भारतीय सन्यासी स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर बनाए जाएं. जब ये GBC वालों ने फैसला किया आपस में, तो उस वक्त दो ही व्यक्तियों को सन्यास देके स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर, ये 81 या 82 की बात है, 82 है मेरे ध्यान में. 82 में परम पूज्य स्वरूप दामोदर गोस्वामी महाराज और परम पूज्य गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज को GBC ने भारत में विशेष रूप से आवश्यकता थी. इतनी सारी ISKCON की प्रॉपर्टी थी, इतने सारे फॉलोअर्स थे, उनको साथ ले चलने के लिए ये 2 सन्यासी और गुरु 82 में, पहले यही बने, इतने ही थे। और उस समय में एक पंचद्रेव आए उनके साथ, तीसरा था, 3 लोगों का संन्यास उस समय हुआ था, और ये नए ऐड हुए थे 11 के बाद, और यही रहे। उसके बाद 86 के बाद तो जब सन्यासी सब गुरु हो गए तब तो और बात है, लेकिन ये जो है उस फर्स्ट में भारत के प्रचार के संरक्षण के लिए प्रभुपाद की बॉडी GBC ने महाराज को चुना था। तो आज महाराज की स्मृति में महाराज के, और साइंटिफिक तो बहुत सारे कंट्रीब्यूशन है महाराज का। पहला किताब सब जगह में वो लाइफ कम्स फ्रॉम लाइफ, छोटा सा इतना आया करता था। हाँ, एक छोटा सा इतना। प्रभुपाद वाज सो हैप्पी जब सब जगह कहते थे, ही इज आवर साइंटिस्ट, ही हैज प्रूव्ड दैट दिस इज लाइफ कम्स फ्रॉम लाइफ। और हम वो तो उस आए नहीं थे 82 तक, तो हम भारत में आए नहीं थे, लेकिन वहाँ सब जब पढ़ते थे हम 80 से पहले ही, तो 71 में ब्रह्मानंद प्रभु आए थे, तब हमने उनका दर्शन वहाँ देखा था। उसके बाद 81 तक तो कोई आया नहीं। तो 81 में जब कुछ लोग और आए तो हमने, वो थे पढ़े लिखे, हम डॉक्टरी कर चुके थे और मैं पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन कर रहा था, मास्टर्स कर रहा था। तो मेरी इच्छा थी कि एक साइंटिस्ट है, मैं उसके साथ, जहाँ अगर इंडिया गया तो उनके साथ जुड़ के प्रचार करूँगा। दिस वाज माय डिज़ायर। मेरी उस वक्त इच्छा थी कि महाराज इसके साथ, क्योंकि मैं तो साइंटिस्ट, मेरा बैकग्राउंड है, तो उनके साथ हैं। यहाँ आने के बाद तो हमारे को वृंदावन में आके सेवा करनी पड़ गई। तो यहाँ से भी महाराज के शरण लेते हैं और महाराज के चरणों में प्रार्थना करते हैं कि उनकी कंट्रीब्यूशन प्रभुपाद के इस मिशन में जो विशेष रूप से साइंटिफिक प्रीचिंग की है, उसको आगे चलाने के लिए महाराज की कृपा से जो कर रहे हैं वो करें। और ये बहुत पावरफुल प्रीचिंग है। एक प्रभुपाद जी से 1 मून इज बेटर देन मिलियन स्टार्स, और प्रभुपाद ने ये मून चुने थे, मून, और ये भी वहाँ जाके अमेरिका में चुने थे। और विशेष रूप से कहा था स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज को कि वी नीड रियली क्षत्रिय बिकॉज यू आर ऑल फ्रॉम मणिपुर क्षत्रिय। सो महाराज के साथ जो है, जो भी थे, जो कुंभ मेले में आए थे, वो मुझे अभी याद है जो उनका। एंड महाराज वाज सो, उनके साथ महाराज भी कीर्तन में उतना ही उत्साहित हुआ करते थे। सो स्वरूप दामोदर गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, विदाई गौर प्रेमानंदे,
हरि बोल, हिज ग्रेस सारो प्रभु की,
साधु साधु साधु, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू प्रभु। बहुत सारे क्वालिटीज महाराज के उभर के आए इसमें। सो विद दिस वी आर एंडिंग द मॉर्निंग सेशन। जिनको भी अवसर प्रदान नहीं हुआ, whoever could not speak in the morning, there is an opportunity tomorrow right at Samadhi Mandir in Radhakund. So please come tomorrow also in the evening, morning, and glorify His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. I would request now His Holiness Bhakti Jivan Brajanand Maharaj to give the concluding remarks.
अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। Hare Krishna. So we would like to express our gratitude to all the exalted Vaishnavas here, those who came kindly, given their valuable times and enlightened us in Srila Sripad Maharaj's mood. So I was just reflecting one thing. When we are hearing so much glories of exalted Vaishnavas, and that we become responsible as his followers. So, because the fruits of a tree, the tree will be known as how the fruits are. So as a disciple of Srila Bhakti Swarup Damodar Swami Maharaj, this has become big responsibility on us. So we should always remember his greatest qualities and his legacy and his dedicated to Srila Prabhupada's mission. So we should not forget about this thing. then that will be will become our real disciple of Maharaj. Thank you very much, all the devotees again. So without any further delay, we go for Pushpanjali. Please collect your flower. I will ask the devotees. So 2 devotees, one go for ladies side, one for Prabhus. So please collect your flowers. And the flowers, please don't throw the flowers. It will become... okay. Yeah. So please don't throw the flowers. So you please collect the flowers and again give back to the same.